Hi all, welcome again. Thank you for continuing to join me in my next class. I'm very excited about this class. Class is a very different, and now as we move ahead, I'll take more serious subjects for us to try. So we have variety of subjects to be painted in autumn, right? So you're gonna start with painting these two twin leaves, as I call them, and let's see right how to do it. It just looks very beautiful, so we're not gonna add any background to it. We're just gonna plain simple wet on wet autumn leaves. So yeah, let's just dive right in. Okay, so usually in the previous classes what we did, we wetted the whole paper in order to paint something, right? So now because our focus is only on these 20 leaves, we're gonna start them by getting them wet one by one. So we'll start with the leaf which is on top, right? So this particular leaf on the left side is on top of the other leaf which is at the bottom. So we're gonna start painting this one. So I will just wet the whole leaf with clean water. Once we have done that, we'll start by adding some colors. So we want to add some base color to it. Also, guys, I just want you to remember when you're adding water on any surface for watercolor painting, just make sure that there are no puddles in it, right? So we just want a very plain water, shine of water, right? Once you're done, start by adding lemon yellow or gomboch yellow to it. So I just want a base color, one base color. So we're gonna just cover the whole leaf with this one color and then start by adding more colors to it. So just when you layer your artwork, it just gives a very different and natural effect to the artwork, right? So we're just gonna do that. So now I am just putting the color. So once I'm satisfied with laying my base color, I'm gonna pick my Indian yellow, after that orange and green to cover some different areas of the leaf, right? I don't want my leaf to be like same at all the places. So it would be combination of Indian yellow, orange, green, and then some browns here and there. Now you need not follow me exactly same as I am doing, but then ensure that the concepts that are being used in the class you understand. So the technique that we are using is wet on wet throughout the whole autumn class. This is the most used technique, wet on wet, right? So now what I'm doing is I've laid down my Indian yellow, but you see that I'm leaving some its and bits of spaces here and there because I don't want to cover my leaf completely in this Indian yellow, but I'm leaving some parts here and there, right? And then we start by adding some oranges on the places. The top of my leaf would be oranges, but then if you want, then you can leave the bottom to be orange. You can leave your lemon at some place. Don't put Indian yellows everywhere, right? Now just pick your star scarlet mix with your lemon, and when you pour it down on the leaf, it's gonna turn a little bit orange, right? But a darker shade. So just here and there. So now I want, so what I want was, right, so my bottom part would be a little bit oranges and my red part would, bottom part, so my upper part would be oranges and my bottom part would be some reddish, and then I'm top of it, I'm gonna add some brown to it to give it some texture, right? Now it just looks like a very like a one muted color, so I want some variations on it. So to give that a contrast effect, I'm gonna add green on the right side of the leaf. Okay. To me, yeah. So I think I'll just add some green, so just tone down and to give little bit of contrasting impact, right? So the leaf has already fallen, but it's green at some places, and the others are brown, orange, and mix of other colors. Now remember that this is watercolor. The shade that you're using, the tone that you're using is gonna go a little bit lighter in color once it is dry. So if you feel like that I'm adding like two darker versions of the color over here, don't worry about it. We'll go and lift some colors, and then this is gonna anyways go a little lighter when it's dry. So I'm gonna just lift some colors from the places because I think it's just too was too red at that area and I didn't like it. So you just pick your tissue paper and then dab it, or you can just pick your like walk your clean brush from that area as I'm doing and then just wash it away, right? So what we do, we dipped our brush in the water, uh, soaked it on the paper towel or napkin, and then just walk your brush to that area where you want to lift the color. Once it is done, then that area goes a little bit lighter. Now I want to give a hint of brown, right? So we'll start with the tip of the leaves and then at the corner of those leaves, right? So we're not gonna do a boundary for that leaf, but we are gonna drop some colors on the corners. Now, if you see me, I'm continuously mixing my burnt sienna with burnt umber. I'm not using one single plain color to do this work. So this is the combination of burnt sienna, burnt umber. Now I don't want it too reddish or dark, light, right? And that's why burnt sienna not alone. And I don't want to do too dark as so not only one umber. It's just a mix of both the colors, right? Remember the tree leaf that at the bottom of this leaf, right? So that the point where this first leaf is touching the second leaf would be darker. So once we go there, we'll paint that area. But for now, let's concentrate on the first one and we give this leaf. So this is like a stem from the leaf, right? And then I'm gonna do colors on the leaf here and there. So make sure that you follow along and understand where I'm trying to drop the brown colors and why, right? So I'm not covering everything. I just want to give it a little darker edge so it looks like a natural leaf, right? And hence I'm adding some browns. My leaf is already wet, so if I add more browns inside the leaves, it's gonna give it a nice look and texture to it. So you see, right, that this fallen leaves are a little bit broken from the inside, right? So that's what a kind of effect that I'm trying to give. And then you can detail the inside part of the leaf as well, right? So drop in your colors here and there, but yeah, please ensure that there are no big puddles being dropped, right? So your leaf area needs to be little bit drier, but not that drier. So it has to be wet for your color to get dropped and then give that effect. But it should not be very like, so your water quantity should be very less, right? Now, in order for detail to be done on the first limb, that needs to be dry. So once that is dry, we can go ahead and add the details. In the meantime, we follow the exact same process that we did for the second leaf, right? And you can, as you can see, my paint is dispersing from over there. Now, why I'm not being bothered about it? Because that part of this particular leaf is gonna be anyways darker because first leaf is laying on top of it and it's gonna drop some shadows at the bottom, right? And that's why it's okay if you're painting wet, and if you're worried about it, then I'll say ki wait for some time till your first leaf is drier and then you can start painting the bottom one, but don't fear much, right? So then exact same process of what we did for the first one, we're gonna lay a base color in the second one and then follow along. Okay, so we take the same thing. We take start with lemon yellow, then add Indian yellow, gomboj or your orange to it, and then lay out some greens. But then at the bottom, because the first leaf is casting the shadow on the top area of the second one, so we're not gonna add lots of light colors on the top. It's gonna be darker at the top, but then lighter at the bottom. Okay. So I want to cover my leaf with the same technique, right? So same color that we use for the first one because they are twin leaves. So they're not identical in their shapes, but then color too. I just wanted to keep them same. Once you're happy with laying your base color, what you can do is take some browns and then so why I'm taking brown is because of the shadow area, right? So we want to make some shadow area, we want to cover the top area also, and then we want to make some corners. It's just like a, twisted leaf come something, a leaf that has fallen got muddy, right? Now the area which is overlapping, right, there is where we want to pay attention. If you see, I am putting lots of browns over there and I'm not worried about it. The main fact that that area is gonna be little bit darker only, right? So it's gonna be more darker than what I have already painted. And I'm just so I'm just softening the look of that leaf. So we don't want any hard edges on the leaf. not until we are doing some detailing, right? So if you see, I am trying to lift also, I'm trying to mix also. So everything that we wanna that we should be doing to make it look natural, right? So do that. So I've added some browns on top and then mix that color so that it looks little subtle. Now, as I said, right, I don't want to add green on the top because that area will be darker, but we'll prefer to add greens at the bottom. So that is what we are doing now. So we'll add some greens at the bottom, and then we're gonna add some more yellows or orange if we feel that we have missed some area somewhere, right? It should not be one tone. So we have a class project like down the line, where we also do a tree with only one shade. So not exactly one color, but then same color tone and different shades of that color, right? So that's what we do. So now once you're satisfied with base color of your leaf, and we wait for it to dry for some time, then we're gonna put the shadow around the first one, right? So shadow around the first one, so it looks like that it is lying on top of the second one, the bottom one. Okay, so now we start by taking that brown and do a line or shape around that leaf as thick as I have done, right? And then what we do, we don't want to keep this hard edge, right? So we just dip our brush in water and then soften it. So this is the same technique that we have learned, if you remember, in the techniques class, right? We did a line of paints then and I washed my brush over it so to make it little softer. This is the same exercise that I'm doing. So we are laying the color, a very broad line of color, and then we dip our brush into water, soak it in the paper towel, and then wash over it, swipe over it to make it little soft, right? Now, why it is, so as I said, right, why it is darker there? Because the first leaf is on top of it and it is casting lot of shadows on that bottom leaf. So I just want to make it darker. And I'm not using any paints, we're using a brown version of it, right? Then similar to the first leaf that we have done, we are gonna make a border, some here and there, drop some colors of burnt sienna and burnt ember. Now at the same edge, right? Also I did the same thing. So I made a thick border and then again made a soft edge around it. So anywhere you are gonna do it, you want to give it that feel to the leaf, add color, no problem. But please ensure that you soften that edge because that hard edge will not look nice. So we did one layer and this is the second layer. Now see how it made a huge difference when we added this layer, right? Now you see that the first leaf is popping out. Now I see that first leaf is actually residing over the second one. See how very tiny details, it makes such a huge difference to your artwork, right? So yeah, so if your concepts, your basics of watercolors are clear, then you can actually go ahead and paint any different artworks, any difficult artworks, and it would just feel like piece of cake, right? So I'm gonna add some teensy bitsy of browns here and there as we have done in the first leaf, to give it look more natural, right? So your natural trees have those teensy bitsy defects. And that's what it makes it lovely, right? It shouldn't be very predictable. Oh, this is lovely. Now, my first sleeve is already dry, right? So I don't wanted to do detailing on my second one, but it's not dry. So I just went ahead and added veins on my first one. And if you see, I'm very scared while I'm doing the veins for the second one because it's not dry, but I did very light-handedly. I just swiped my brush across from the brush strip, not picking up, so not going very nice, and then do some veins here and there. We don't want to do a lot of detailed veins, but then just some veins, right? So I'm gonna do exactly same thing on the first one as well. This you can do according to whatever you feel comfortable about. If you want to add veins, go ahead and add it. If you don't want to add veins, and then keep your leaf plain, then that's also okay. But then while you're adding vein, always remember they are not straight lines, and also they are not continuous lines. You have to give them a little natural effect, so make them little broken. So I have also done little broken, right? So I have not painted them in one go. When I was doing it, I made them broken. Now we're gonna add shadows around the leaf. Okay, now you can do paints gray, which would be natural like everything do, but I just for fun, I picked up a very different color for doing the shadow. I don't know what made me use this color, but I was excited about using them, so I thought, okay, why not do something very different? And I picked this aqua blue color for doing the shadows. Okay, so you can also do the same color. What I'm doing, I'm just going over it, going over this color around the leaves and just making a shadow, right? This is cobalt turquoise. So kind of aqua color. So cobalt turquoise. Turquoise is more of an aqua color, right? So that's what I'm using. And this is just for fun. If you want to make it more natural, go ahead with your same colors, right? So your brown, your green and orange mixed with slight paints gray, and then go around the leaf to give them a more natural look, right? And then you can, so your shadow should be more darker, but I don't want it to do that. I just wanted to keep it on the fun side, so I just went ahead and added something on the background, but not completely. And then lastly, I just did a splatter on top of it. So you pick your brush, any brush, dip your brush in water, take some color on it, and then just do a strokes. So I picked, I think, brown color here. Yeah, I picked brown umber and combination of burnt sienna to do those splatters. And that's it. I love doing splatters. So you see me adding the splatters in the end. So that's what will complete the artwork. And remember, guys, if you want to do this background, right? If you want to do a background, then do a background of one color, and then around the leaves, just go a little darker on the tone. I just left it like that. I just don't want to add a background. Splatter would be the last thing for me to do. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this lesson. This is very, very beautiful lesson and I enjoyed it thoroughly. Thank you for joining in my class. See you in the next one.